Get started. If everyone's ready, we'll get started. We'll call the meeting of the Pinellas County Charter Review Commission for June 10th to order. My name is Brian Angst. I have the privilege of serving as the board chair. I was an appointee of Chris Latvala. And if y'all would give me a moment of personal privilege, I'd like to start with some thank yous. So this has been a very collaborative process, a generative process, and we've been going at this for more than 9 months. So first off, I want to thank all of you, everyone in this room who has dedicated yourself to this. I think we've kept most of the meetings to just about 2 hours. So I'd say that's a really good sign of efficiency, but also good deliberation and good discussion. So I'd like to first, I'll do the roll call if that's okay. So I'd like to thank our vice chair, Dr. Lindsay Grove. Dr. Grove is a citizen at large appointee of the Pinellas County Commission and has served as the vice chair, and I very much appreciate your service and your input. We have Senator Nick DeSigli. Senator DeSigli is the appointee of the Pinellas County Legislative Delegation, and again, thank you, sir, for your service and for all of your input. We have County Commissioner Dave Eggers. Commissioner Eggers is the appointee of the Pinellas County Commission. He chaired our first meeting, and very much appreciate everything that you've provided to us in terms of guidance and being a liaison back to the County Commission and helping us move forward in a positive direction. We have Ashley Overend, who is the appointee of Commissioner Brian Scott. Ashley brings a tremendous amount of legislative experience and also experience with Pinellas County and other jurisdictions, and very much appreciate your service, Ashley. So thank you again for everything. We have Commissioner Alan Swartz. Alan joined us recently as the appointee of Commissioner Kathleen Peters. Alan, thank you for jumping in the stead of Todd Jennings. Todd Jennings served in the stead of Ricky Butler. Ricky Butler served for probably about 75–80% of the process, and he was elected to the Pinellas Park City Council, following in his father's footsteps, which is great for Ricky and very good for the city of Pinellas Park. So I want to thank Commissioner Schwartz and also Commissioner Butler for his service. We have Commissioner Tom Steck. Commissioner Steck was appointed by Charlie Justice and also brings the experience of having served on prior charter review commissions. So very much appreciate his insight, guidance, and historical knowledge, and very much appreciate your service, sir. Thank you for that. We have Commissioner Mark Strickland, who was appointed by Commissioner Janet Long. Mark, thank you very much for your service. I know you're with SPC and bring a tremendous amount of experience administratively and also with the community, so I want to thank you again for your service. We have Commissioner Anne Marie Brooks. Commissioner Brooks is the Pinellas County Municipal appointee. She is a commissioner from Madeira Beach, and I appreciate so much your service, also your service to Madeira Beach. And really, you know, this is like the epitome of public service, right? It's basically completely volunteer, and it takes a lot of time. So, Commissioner Brooks, thank you so much for that. We have our Pinellas County property appraiser, Mike Twitty. Appraiser Twitty, it's always very difficult to figure out what title to call you with a property appraiser, but I appreciate your service on the commission, also for being a liaison to the other constitutional officers. I will thank them in a moment, but all of the constitutional officers have helped us and played a key role in our deliberations, and I thank you for being the liaison with the county commissioners. The constitutional officers. Online, we have Commissioner Chief Jim Milliken. Chief Milliken is a fire chief with the Lealman Fire District. I serve with him on the Juvenile Welfare Board, brings a tremendous amount of experience in public service in Pinellas County. And he took the stead of Todd Jennings. Todd Jennings was a public at-large appointee, and he was elected to the Town of Bel Air Town Commission in March, and as a result, had to resign. And so Chief Milliken very ably stepped in and filled his shoes, which I very much appreciate. We also have online Commissioner Rob Posevich. Commissioner Posevich was the appointee of Commissioner David Eggers. And again, Rob, very much appreciate your insight and your service on the commission. And we have Terry Lipsy Scott, who is a commissioner appointed by Commissioner Renee Flowers. Again, brings a wealth of knowledge and volunteer public service experience throughout Pinellas County and a great history of service to our county. And I very much appreciate your service on the commission and all of the contributions that you have made to the commission. I am missing someone who is not here, I believe, unless I'm just not counting myself, which is possible. I hope I didn't miss any commissioners. I'm re-looking at my list just to triple check that I did not miss any commissioners. But
Mr. Chair, I don't know that Jim's online yet. I think that may be that, but I know you recognized him.
Okay, all right, very good. Well, thank you for that clarification, Mr. Thomas. So next, I'd like to thank Doug Thomas and Strategic Government Resources Incorporated for serving as our facilitator, helping marshal us and keeping us organized and on track and also productive. And I very much appreciate your service, your knowledge, and your expertise, and all those extra phone calls and emails I know you all had to do with us individually to help get us to this point and the final report. Wade Vose, our board attorney, and his law firm, Vose Law Firm LLP. I know we've had at least one of your associates here in person, so I'm sure there was a tremendous amount of work that you all put in through our various inquiries about Florida law, constitutional law, and helping guide us in terms of providing hopefully what are well thought out proposals and discussions for the voters to consider. Next, I'd like to thank County Administrator Barry Burton and his entire team. Administrator Burton came here in person to help lead the discussion, kick off the discussion on the county administrator position in the charter. Very much appreciate his time. Also appreciate Nancy McKibben, who has been our liaison with the county administrator's office. Also wanted to thank Brian Lowak, who helped kick us off. That we've been doing this so long that I recall I called Brian back in September on a Sunday, and he was very excited because Jordan Love had just led a comeback for the Green Bay Packers. So that's how long we've been doing this. Seems like a long time ago when you think about that. Also want to thank County Attorney Jewel White and her entire staff. I know they've been working very collaboratively with our attorney, Mr. Vose, and also County Attorney White attended several of our meetings and discussed the county attorney hiring and retention process, and obviously also, I'm sure, vetted all of the proposals that we are considering for final approval to ensure that they were legal and to ensure that we weren't missing anything. So I very much appreciate the county attorney's office and Jewel White. I want to thank Clerk of the Court Ken Burke for his assistance, and also our board reporter, Deputy Clerk Tammy Burgess, for all of her assistance throughout this process. I also want to thank Arilis Escalera for her help with public comment and public communications from Pinellas County Communications. Thank you so much for your assistance and your help for the board. Also, some unsung heroes that we don't see, but we know are here. Sarah Powell, Pinellas County Web Administrator and Digital Project Coordinator. Brian Dare, Digital and Audio Visual Manager, and Daniel Eggleston, Video Meeting Support, for helping us get out to the voters, hopefully, and making our meetings available, accessible, and very public and hopefully very transparent. Also want to thank Supervisor of Elections Julie Marcus and her staff. Supervisor of Elections Marcus attended one of our meetings to discuss the issues in the charter related to referenda, citizen petitions, percentages, and timing. So I want to thank her for her expertise and for her staff's expertise in collaborating with our staff. Finally, just a general thank you to all of the constitutional officers for working through Commissioner Twitty and for being available to us. Obviously, Pinellas County Sheriff provided some deputies at some of our meetings until I think we realized that probably wasn't a good use of taxpayer money, since our meetings have been, very, very collegial, calm, and everyone from the public has been very respectful and courteous. So, but I do want to thank them for being here when they were here. And finally, to all of the county commissioners, first off, for appointing all of us, for having the trust and faith in each and every one of us individually. Also for acting quickly to appoint 2 new members when somewhat potentially unexpectedly 2 of our members were elected to local office and had to step aside. And also for working through Commissioner Eggers to help get their ideas and thoughts before the board. So with that, I believe we've completed the roll call. I will ask for any public comment for any items that are not on the agenda. I do have one card from Mr. David Ballard-Geddes Jr. Mr. Ballard-Geddes, when you get situated, you'll have 3 minutes.
Hi, good evening. David Ballard Geddes Jr. I live at 802 Georgia Avenue in Palm Harbor. In recognition of the fact that the Declaration of Independence counterfeits itself as preamble to Hamilton's second Constitution, capturing the water supply, constituted as an actual invasion, taking liberty, property, and life of the Christian population under the 14th Amendment, vanquishing Christianity, based on Federalist Paper number 2, and recognizing Thomas Jefferson's Religious Freedom Act, serving as a departure of Almighty God, ad hocing nature's God in his Declaration of Independence, serving an evil of such, declaring to be an enemy of mankind, declaring mankind is more disposed to suffer. The Danbury Baptists, in recognizing the constitutional sorcery of our so-called founding fathers, saw the pompous nature of such men as being in violation of an ancient charter. The Danbury Baptists responded to such violations in such ancient charter by writing a letter to Thomas Jefferson in 1801, which is known as the Wall of Separation. The letter recognizes the privileges of legislation as being a favor granted, and such legislative privileges as a favor granted is not an inalienable right. The Danbury Baptists further stated that those who seek power and gain under the pretense of government and religion, should they reproach their fellow men as an enemy of religion and law, they dare not assume such prerogative, stating that those who wish to rise to wealth and importance on the subject and impoverishment of the people, they dare not assume such prerogative. The reclaimed water variance application is a high seas charter violation of both religion and law, revealing this constitutional reproach as declared as a tactic of war, using water as its weapon of choice. I caution those who charter themselves into these waters constitutionally. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ballard Geddes Jr., and I want to thank you. I think you have almost perfect attendance at our meetings, and I want to thank you for your civility and also for your civic activism. And if everyone else in the country comported themselves the way you do, I think we'd be in a much better place. So I want to thank you for that.
I'm also grateful for your tolerance of my viewpoints as longstanding and sometimes controversial as they may be. Thank you,
sir. Okay, any
Mr.
other
Chair?
public? Yes.
Just want to thank you, I know, speak for the group for leading the way, so thank you very much.
Thank you all. It's a pleasure. It really is. As you probably can tell, I enjoy this a lot. So I really do enjoy it. So thank you. Any other public comment for items that are not on the agenda? There are none. Okay, so now we have for your review and approval the minutes of May 23rd and May 28th.
Move approval for both.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Now we will move on to our public hearings. Each one of the proposed referenda will be discussed individually, as we did at the last meeting. The first one is agenda item 5A, question number 1, county charter amendment, providing for county commissioner term limits. Mr. Bose.
Thank you, Chairman. And actually, Doug, are you logged in on Zoom? Can you throw up?
Yes, I can.
Can you share that? Because I just realized I'm not logged in on Zoom. Just so it's up on the screen for everybody for each of them. If you just go to the appropriate page in the agenda materials. Sorry, Chairman, just be 1 second. There we go. Perfect. This is the public hearing for question 1, county charter amendment providing for county commissioner term limits. The ballot summary for this question is as follows. Shall the Pinellas County Charter be amended to provide for county commissioner term limits by prohibiting county commissioners who have held the office for the preceding 12 years from appearing on a ballot for re-election and requiring a minimum of 4 years off the county commission before serving again, with terms of office beginning on or after November 5th, 2024, counting toward the term limits.
Okay, this item was discussed extensively. I know there was a comment, according to Mr. Thomas's email from, I believe it was Sunday. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Eggers.
Yeah, I wrestled with this. It's really about the effective date. So I've talked to about, probably 10 people about where we were moving in the process about term limits, and they said, "Oh, well, that's great. It's about time." But what about the current commissioners? How long are they going to be able to stay on? And so all of them, every single one of them. Remember, one of the things that we were concerned about was keeping it simple and making it November of this year. And so what that does is give a whole lot of time for those to do. And I was looking at 24 years, 16, 24, 24, 14, 20, 16. Some of them are pretty reasonable, the ones that were more recent. It doesn't change a lot. So I guess my first question is, this will become part of the charter, correct? This information? Where does this, it's not on the ballot, obviously, the details of this, but where does this show up?
Commissioner, what are you pointing to? I'm so sorry. That Excel spreadsheet?
Yeah.
So that Excel spreadsheet is a creation of mine, all right? It is a permutation or elaboration of the legal effect of the charter amendment language. What's going to go in the charter is the language, Doug, if you could scroll down a little bit, that's in subsection B. This Excel spreadsheet is the enacting out or playing out of the language that you find there.
So that won't be attached to anything?
This Excel spreadsheet is not going to be in the charter. I would recommend against in the strongest terms in a county charter naming individuals and so on. I mean, because remember what's going on in this is that chart was laying it out because when I was speaking to some commissioners, I knew that was a question that was going to come up. How's this going to affect this? How's this going to affect that? Better to just have it before you rather than everybody doing mental math.
Yeah. Okay, my first question was going to be, if it were, then I'd like to be able to do something individually for myself in my terms that I have left, but that obviously is not going to happen. And so the only thing that, unless you went all the way back to 2012, which was the first time one of the commissioners was elected, we can go to the last one, which is where all of them will have been on the commission, which is 2022. It doesn't really change the oldest commissioners that are here. I mean, the oldest serving commissioners, not the oldest. They're still both at 24. It does reduce mine from 24 to 20. I really wanted it to be at 16, but I'd have to go all the way back to 2018 to capture that, which would be fine with me. But anyway, I just wondered if there was any appetite of looking at that effective date and moving it at all back further than just this coming November. That was really my, if there's an appetite, you can get into the details of which one, but if there's not an appetite, I certainly understand this is a late date, so to speak.
Mr. Thomas, did you have a comment?
Just for a point of clarification for Commissioner Eggers, although as Legal Counsel Vose had indicated, the spreadsheet that you referenced is not part of the ballot initiative. It is part of the CRC report. It'll be part of the appendices for the material, which I believe was March 4th, I believe. So it is in the report that is a public document. If you needed to make any reference to it or anything else, it just wouldn't necessarily appear, that Schedule D wouldn't be in the ballot per se. The recording of the discussions, absolutely. Absolutely, yep.
There's no way to individually remove one or reduce one by itself.
I would recommend in the strongest terms against calling out the seat held by Commissioner so-and-so will have a different one or anything like that.
Well, that would have been me.
Whether it's you or anyone else, I think it would legally play the same.
That's fine. Again, that was my question to the group. Any appetite for changing that date, one term, or 2 years? That'd be back to November of '22, whatever that date was, the effective election date. If there's no appetite, then yes.
Okay, so I see Commissioner Overend, Commissioner Steck, and then Commissioner Schwartz want to make comment. Commissioner Overend?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the balance that you're trying to strike, Commissioner Eggers, and I think we're doing the right thing for today's Charter Review Commission. I think I recall in the last one 8 years ago, the body that was appointed, someone made a motion for term limits that didn't get a second. So I think that the balance that we've, yeah, right? And we have come a long way in viewpoints, I think, across the county, and this, I'd like to keep it where it is for that reason.
Okay, Commissioner Steck?
Yes, I understand your interest in regard to that. I'm concerned about the timing here at the very last meeting to bring up something that was vetted and discussed ad infinitum. And again, I'd just soon leave it where it is.
Commissioner Schwartz?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no problem with this November 5, 2024 date because I think somewhat insulates the commission here against somebody saying, you set this date there specifically to go after me because my time is going to expire. If it was 8 years ago, somebody would say, hey, I only get 4 more years. If somebody has a problem with that, use it as a political, point, a piece of political ammunition. Otherwise, I think by putting it here, we move forward. Nobody has any argument that, hey, we went after somebody. So I have no appetite for moving this at all from the date we have.
Any other comments on, yes, Commissioner, thank you, I appreciate it. And it was worth discussing again, particularly because we have 2 new commissioners and we did discuss it at length. Any other comments on question number 1 or discussion? Do I have a motion?
Chair.
Yes.
I don't know that if I recall you formally asking. Could you ask if there's any public comment
Oh, I'm
concerning it?
sorry. Yes, thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah, not a
I was so good at that at the last meeting.
You knew we had to discuss it here too, so yeah. no, it's great.
Is there any public comment about question 1, agenda item 5A? Okay, seeing none. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Okay, Commissioner Lipsey Scott and seconded by Commissioner Eggers, and that is as written with no revisions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, question 2, item 5B, revising county initiative petition requirements and process.
Thank you, Chairman. The public hearing on question 2, ballot title, revising county initiative petition requirements and process. The ballot summary for this question is as follows. Shall the Pinellas County Charter be amended to revise the county initiative petition process by providing for a uniform time period for an initiative petition drive from September through April before a November general election, monthly submission deadlines for signed petitions, running tallies of verified petitions on the Supervisor of Elections website, preparation of ballot translations, and related procedures?
Is there any commission discussion on question number 2? Is there any public comment on question number 2? Do I have a motion? Commissioner Eggers moves approval. Commissioner Steck seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that also passes unanimously. I'll move on to item 5C, question number 3, lowering signature percentage for petition drives to propose county charter amendments.
Thank you, Chairman. For question 3, the ballot summary is as follows. Shall the Pinellas County Charter be amended to lower the number of signed petitions necessary to propose an amendment to the Pinellas County Charter from 8% of the registered voters in the county to 5%?
Okay, do we have any commission discussion on question number 3? Do we have any public comment on question number 3? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Vice Chair Grove moves approval. Commissioner
second.
Strickland seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that also passes unanimously. Question number 4, item 5D, Charter Amendment revising thresholds for appointment and removal of county attorney.
Thank you, Chairman. The ballot summary for this ballot question is as follows. Shall the Pinellas County Charter be amended to provide that the 12-member County Attorney Oversight Committee shall select and appoint a county attorney by an 8-vote supermajority and may remove the county attorney only by a 7-vote majority at 2 consecutive meetings or by an 8-vote supermajority at 1 meeting?
Okay. Any discussion on question number 4? Seeing none, any public comment on question number 4? Do I have a motion?
Move approval.
We've got Property Appraiser Twitty with a motion and Commissioner Overend with a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that also passes unanimously. Question number 5, item 5E, referenda on county charter amendments to be held at general elections only.
Thank you, Chairman. The ballot summary for this question 5 is as follows. Shall the Pinellas County Charter be amended to require that referenda on county charter amendments proposed by initiative petition or proposed by the Board of County Commissioners shall be held only at the general election held in November of even-numbered years?
All right, is there any commission discussion on question number 5? Is there any public comment? Seeing none, do we have a motion? Senator DeSigley and Commissioner Amory Brooks is the second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Moving on to item 5F, question number 6. Conforming publication requirements for county charter amendment referenda to the Florida Election Code.
Thank you, Chairman. The ballot summary for this question is as follows. Shall the Pinellas County Charter be amended to revise the Charter's publication requirements for county charter amendment referenda to conform to the Florida Election Code?
Any commission discussion? Any public comment? Do I have a motion? Amory Brooks is the motion, and Commissioner Steck is the second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, that also passes unanimously. Question number 7, County Charter Cleanup Amendment.
Thank you, Chairman. The ballot summary for this question is as follows. Shall the Pinellas County Charter be amended to remove certain one-time provisions that have since occurred or lapsed, remove gender references, update organization names, and remove references to organizations that no longer exist?
Okay. Any commission discussion on this item? Any public comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, do I have a motion?
Move approval.
Okay, Commissioner Lipsey Scott with the motion and Commissioner Overend with the second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. We are through all 7 questions. Moving on to old business, review and approval of 2023-2024 CRC report to the citizens of Pinellas County. Mr. Thomas.
We circulated a draft of the proposed final report that memorializes your actions of this body. I know a couple of you had provided some feedback and comments. We've tried to encapsulate that. So you've seen a red line version of that in addition to a clean version, which was published to the web as part of this conversation. So we're prepared to, I can share the screen if there's a question or an issue or anything that comes up. We can deal with this on the fly, similar to what you just went through, Mr. Chair, in the proposals.
Well, let me ask the commission, does anyone have any, everybody get a chance to read it? Anybody have any comments, questions, revisions? The only revisions I had were non-substantive, and Mr. Thomas and I spent about a half hour discussing those, and it was all just grammar and stuff like that. So, yes, Commissioner Eggers.
There was just one, it seemed like there was one reference, that one of the items was a unanimous vote. I'm trying to find it right now, page 24. I don't know where that is. It was in the context of, you know, I'm just wondering why there was a reference to a unanimous in the where is it?
I don't, the summary of the discussions of the CRC went through page 15, so.
All right, let me go back there then, see if I can.
Commissioner, do you remember what topic it was? I can try to help you.
Is that with respect, Commissioner, is that with respect to the charter cleanup issues and then a
Yes.
parenthetical
Yes.
unanimous
Yep.
support?
It was.
Commissioner, I think that's actually a good catch, because I think previously, in a previous earlier draft, there were some parentheticals about how much support there were for things and so on, and I think that one, because it didn't have numbers in it, kind of didn't get caught by the eye. It would be on page
Maybe the summary
10,
of the?
I believe, of the red line draft. Doug?
Page 10.
Yeah, keep going. Right there.
There we go. Oh,
Doug, if you recall, earlier version
Yep.
had parentheticals with different things. Yeah, to conform to the format of the rest of the report, I think that's a good catch. I'd
Good
recommend
catch.
it
Yep.
just be
Okay.
removed.
Commissioner, we
Commissioner,
found it.
We found it. I think
Yep.
that's a good catch, just for consistency with the
Yeah,
form of the rest of the
the rest of-
report.
with
We've
the
gone
rest of
ahead
them.
and removed it from the draft before
Yeah,
the
that's all I had.
CRC.
Commissioner Overend.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm not sure if I'm
Yeah.
looking at the red line version here. Thank you, Nancy, for the computer that can search. In the cleanup area, special laws, it says that, in the second paragraph under discussion and research, it says that the charter reference Indian Rock Special Fire Control District changed to Indian Rocks Fire District. Are you projecting the final version up here?
Remember what page, I'm sorry, what page?
What item was it? What number?
7. Wait.
Item 7?
Item 7? Thank
No,
you.
11.
11.
Oh, 11, excuse me, all right.
Page 12. I was just wondering, I think that's Suncoast, isn't it?
Okay.
Not
there you go.
Indian Rocks? So that second paragraph under discussion research, additional research was conducted. Yeah, in the parentheses there, it says from Indian Rock Special Fire Control District to Indian Rocks Fire District. I believe that's Suncoast, not Indian Rocks.
Suncoast Fire District.
No,
Yes.
the one we made the change on was Indian Rocks in the charter.
But they're saying it's now called Suncoast Fire District?
I think it is Suncoast Fire.
I'm pretty sure it is as well.
There isn't an Indian Rocks Fire District, right?
I don't think there is an Indian Rock Fire District.
So that,
At least we call it the Suncoast Fire District.
sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. If you all want to give me a minute, I mean, this was based on digging through all the special acts.
Well, I think what we can do,
dig back through it.
Mr. Vose, you were going to recommend the form of a motion.
I
Do you
will.
wanna
and yeah,
explain that?
And we can incorporate that
Yeah.
as a piece of Scrivener's errors. on
Would you
that.
like to explain that?
Absolutely. Commissioners, I was going to recommend for the adoption of the final report, just as a recommendation as the form of the motion, that move adoption of the final report with the addition of the minutes from this last meeting, direction to staff to correct any Scrivener's errors. And I would include among those Scrivener's errors, if in fact it's the case that that's the actual name of that special district, we will go ahead and make that change in all the appropriate places within the final report, including the cleanup charter change.
Okay. I suppose it could be the case that Suncoast Fire District's a DBA or a fictitious name, kind of like Fort Pinellas.
Suncoast, that is the first time I have heard that set of words put together in this whole 9-month process.
Yeah,
So
it's very
that's-
much a thing.
I'm sure it is. I'm going to go ahead and double check all these
sorry.
special acts we've
It is
been
a
going
thing.
over. Somehow we missed that piece, but
That's all right. Well, thank you, Commissioner Overend.
Yeah.
for
thank you very
catching
much
that.
for
We need
that.
Chief
Yeah,
Milliken here.
be double checking it before I even drive out of here. But we'll sort it one way or the other.
All right. Any other comments or discussion points? Do I need to take public comment on the report?
I would recommend it.
Any
There is
public
any.
comment on the proposed draft report? Do I have a motion? So move consistent with Mr. Vose's form motion. Senator DeSigley and Commissioner Steck seconds. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously as well. Okay, moving on to other business, closing comments from Mr. Thomas and Mr. Vose.
So just to provide kind of what happens next, we've talked with the board secretary. We anticipate, or the reporters, we anticipate getting a copy of the final minutes here relatively quickly. They've got to go through their internal review process. We'll attach those to the meeting minutes and the packet for this meeting. And then those will be attached to the document that we just approved, as well as a copy of the actual charter. We left those out for the time being just for ease of transmission materials. In talking with Wade, we've discussed that we'll transmit that final document to the clerk, to the county attorney, to the chair of the Board of County Commissioners, and to the county administrator. And therefore, we'll be able to put it on their agendas so that they can proceed. I know, and Commissioner Eggers probably is aware, you've got it queued up for action. It will ultimately be considered by the Board of County Commissioners for their review and approval for placement on the ballot. So I just want to let you know procedurally that'll be the case. What we'll do is I will send to all of you, once we've finalized whatever Scribner's error or anything else we need to do, I will send all of you a link to the document. Because of the size of the document, it'll be in a password protected approach where you can click on the link, enter the password, and you can download the document for your own file. We'll include that both with and without the attachments, so you have something for your records as well.
Okay. Mr. Vose, sorry to put you on the spot. Would you like to advise us in terms of our ongoing sunshine law obligations before we are discharged and actually done?
Thank you very much. You anticipated one of my things I was going to be addressing. So after you have now approved your final report, and after you're having approved it, and it's going to be transmitted to the Board of County Commissioners pursuant to the requirements of the Pinellas County Charter, after that time, you are still subject to the sunshine law with the caveat that I'm going to give you. Okay? The sunshine law governs interactions or communications between two or more members of the same board about a matter that may foreseeably come before that board. Okay? I would offer to you that after this meeting and your approval of the final report and its transmittal, the ability of the Charter Review Commission to place charter amendments on the ballot is no longer available to you, and therefore it is not foreseeable that you're going to have any issues along those lines. So if you run into each other in Publix or your friends or what have you, you can talk amongst yourselves about the work of the CRC generally, the items that came up and didn't go anywhere. You can gossip about that all day long, all right? The only thing I would offer to you that you should avoid discussing outside of a noticed public meeting are matters that relate to potential, and I don't foresee any at this time, but just to keep this in the back of your head, potential litigation challenges to the charter amendments that you are placing on the ballot, okay? Because hypothetically, and this has come up in a number of other counties, and I believe in Pinellas in the past, where the Charter Review Commission could get named as a party in a lawsuit. And the Charter Review Commission then, you all would have to meet and make some decisions concerning litigation. We would not want to have instances where you all discussed litigation or the prospect of litigation outside of a noticed public meeting. So stay far away from discussing any matters like that, but otherwise, it's no longer foreseeable that you could put matters other than these on the ballot so you can discuss them amongst yourselves. I hope that helps.
Okay, and then what about a discharge date? Is there such a thing? When will we be fully done? Is that July 30th? Is it when we give the report to the commission and they have the hearing? And then if y'all can think about maybe sending us one final email saying, congratulations, you're completely
You're done, right. A great question, and I used to know that answer off the top of my head. Give me just 1 second. Thank you very much, Chairman, for bringing this up. Charter language reads as follows. If proposed amendments are included in the report, the Charter Review Commission may, at its discretion, remain constituted through the general election. I don't recall 8 years ago that the CRC adjourned sine die, adjourned saying we're not coming back for any more meetings, no matter what. So it's within your authority to do so. It may not make complete sense to do so in the instance that if litigation does arise, it could lead to some confusion about how that might work if the CRC were named as a party. I'd probably recommend just keeping your powder dry and saying you don't have any plans for any future meetings. Does that make sense?
I think I would probably be well served to follow your advice. My gut instinct would be to sine die, but if you're telling me not to, I'm not going to disagree with you.
Yeah. The concern becomes if any further action or decision is needed of the CRC. If we do, it procedurally becomes messy to come back and do anything. It's difficult to foresee anything other than litigation.
Essentially, the county commission would have to reappoint the commission.
Yeah, and that would be, that's at least one possible outcome, and that would be messy.
Okay. I think we'll probably just listen to our attorney. Is that, everybody okay with that?
My suggestion would probably be, as I said, just let it ride and let everyone proceed on the understanding this is your last meeting.
Okay, everybody good? Anybody have any other questions or comments for, yes, Commissioner Steck?
I just want to thank everyone for coming together. It's refreshing to me for the political science degree to see the kinds of things that happen in government that was designed to have folks come together, professionally and discuss things in a manner that we've done, and it's been very refreshing and rewarding to me to be here. So thank you all.
Thank you. Anybody else have any comments or questions or any final things before we adjourn?
Just once again,
Yes.
thank you for your leadership. You've done a fine job as chair, and thank you to Doug and our very sterling counsel over there.
Thank you all very much. If there's nothing else, we are adjourned. Thank you.